Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. Today I am just loaded with all sorts of energy. I had to go out for my morning exercises and I burnt off a little bit of steam, but the reason I'm so excited is today I am going to show you guys the fastest way that I know of driving a Sandpoint well, and the pressure is on. In last week's video I kind of ran my mouth off a little bit, and now that could really be an embarrassment, but I promised that I would find water on this attempt of driving a Sandpoint. The first well that I did, I know there's water there, but it's just too deep for me to extract out of the earth. I'm going to be using a pitcher pump, and you can only draw water out of the ground up to like 25 feet without doing some modifications to the pipe. So I'd like to thank you for considering watching this video. I'd like to thank my subscribers and my viewers that watch me every week. And then one group of people that I want to just take a minute before we dive into the meat of things. And I never thank them, but I am grateful for them. And that is my YouTube family and community that here in the outdoor living world that really support me week in and week out. And just wanted to mention them real quick. Southpaw Outdoors, he's a great YouTuber that has a cabin very similar to mine. If you haven't checked out Southpaw, you might want to look for his name in the comments. He usually leaves a comment or two, and go ahead and research his channel. He has a lot of great skills, and does a lot of off-the-grid things and outdoor things, and his channel is really great. One of the fellow YouTubers from here in Wisconsin, Mark Pro. Mark is an awesome guy. He does a lot of hunting and fishing. He doesn't have a completely off-the-grid cabin, but he does show you his cabin life, and he's got a lot of interesting things that he posts. Homesteading Northern Michigan. I may not always comment on your videos, Jason, but I always make sure to watch him. He's actually the first YouTube channel that I've ever subscribed to, and Jason does a lot of cool woodworking things. He is living the outdoor, off-the-grid lifestyle that everybody wants to live. He does everything from milling his own lumber to he has animals and chickens and bunnies and stuff on his farm that you know, he's raising, and he's just an incredible guy. He's got a really cool personality, and he's talented really heavily on his outdoor skills, and he loves chainsaws, which is always cool. And then we got other YouTubers like Kevin from Lazy Pond Farm and from Lazy Pond Hunting and Fishing. Kevin is really cool. I really relate to his channel. As many of you may know, that I grew up in a farming community. My brother still has a farm, and it's interesting seeing him and his boys work the farm and share with us their hunting and fishing skills and talents. And one of the new guys that I just subscribed to that I would also like to give a shout out to, and not that it would make a difference because he's already got a pretty sizable channel, but I really enjoy watching him. And I just found out about his channel through Kevin at Lazy Pond Farm, and that's Chad from the numbers 9252. I think it's Living Off the Grid or Off the Grid. And I'm sorry if I butchered that, Chad, but I'm brand new to your channel. And this guy has got just a cool personality. He's the type of individual that really draws you in because he's so colorful. His wife and daughters are awesome, and it's great because they are the real deal when it comes to living off the grid. And then, of course, Old Faithful. Wiley from Wandering Wiley. Wiley comes from northern Minnesota. He's a true outdoorsman. He is a tradesman like myself, so a lot of times we relate, and he's got a lot of skills and inspiration that he passes my way, and knowledge that he passes my way. If I ever have any question on carpentry or anything like that, he's my go-to resource. And I kind of sensed that he might have been putting a challenge out. In his last video, he said something about maybe seeing if he could get Carl from Carl's Off the Grid over by him for some camping and fishing. And I'm a very competitive fisherman, and so, you know, when you get a guy from the land of 10,000 lakes challenging a guy from the land of, I think we're a little over 15,000 lakes to fishing, you can consider that's going to happen. That video is going to happen. So Wiley, I'm accepting that challenge, and I'm excited to join in up with you maybe this fall, and we'll see if we go out to like a camping or a survival fishing type of video. But we'll see. We'll get together and talk about it. So I'm going to quit talking. I'm excited. Let's get out, and we'll go to that new area where I'd like to drive the well. I'm going to feel like a fool if we don't hit water, but it's a really good perspective area. That I think we could really be successful on targeting water on. I tried 2 more areas on the property. One is at the top of a hill behind our cabin, but I don't want to be doing hills all the time if I do hit water up there. So I'm picking the easiest route. We're going to go in a low-lying spot on my property that's holding water already. It's easy access for either my 4-wheel drive truck or with the ATV, and so it'll be easy to transport water when it comes to that point. And it's close enough I could just build my bathhouse and everything right there. So we'll see what transpires. All right, thanks again for joining us. Let's get into the meat of things. Always put your tape on in a clockwise motion. That way, when you go to screw the 2 pieces of pipe together, the tape doesn't unthread. Instead, it'll go deeper into the threads. And I'm old school. I love to dope and tape everything. I guess I'll tell you this, since everybody now is saying this after watching Bush Radical's video. He puts on a really good video of doing this. Just keep in mind when you put on this dope, try to stay away from the threads, the end of the threads. Some people claim that you can taste the pipe dope. I don't think it's so much the pipe dope that you're tasting. I think you are more or less tasting the oils that are used to cut the threads, which brings up a great point. What I did is, before I even got this pipe out here on the job site, I took Dawn dishwashing soap and I took a brush and I ran the brush all the way through the pipe to clean any oils out of the pipe and make it so that the water tastes better. All right, so here's our Sandpoint. I've already gone ahead and I've taken Dawn dishwashing soap and scoured out the inside of each one of these pipes. I went ahead and put Teflon tape and Teflon paste on the threads right away so that they'd make a good seal. And I've only done that on one side of the pipe because I want this, being that we're in a mosquito infested area, I want this to be a quick procedure, so I already prepared myself and did that. All right folks, I just wanted to show you, here's our Sandpoint, and we are putting in a sacrificial short piece of pipe with an extra drive coupling that's going to be sacrificial. And the reason that I'm doing this is because we have used the drive cap, and the drive cap, for whatever reason, I don't know if we got a bad one or what, but it seems to sandwich our threads and screw them up. So I'll just do a quick demonstration with the jackhammer.
You know, another helpful point that I completely overlooked, but when I came here in the garage to take my sweatshirt off and to spray up with some bug spray, it hit me basically right in the face. And right here on the back of the ATV, I have a 5-gallon bucket that is full of water, and inside of it, if I don't get myself drenched first, I have my pitcher pump. And what it's doing inside this bucket, my grandfather, his whole career was also a plumber, and I remember when he put in his well, the very first thing that he did is he talked to my father and I as we were helping him out, and he says, put that pump inside of water right away as soon as you start your project. That way the leather gaskets and things that are inside the pump have a chance to swell up, and then by the time you are ready to start pumping your water, those gaskets will make a better seal and it'll be easier to pump water. So that's your little helpful hint for today. I'm glad that I came in the garage. I'd hate to forget to share this point with you. There's so many things, so many little tips that I can share with you, and this is probably one of the most important.
Okay, folks, I have roughly, I think it's about 15 feet, in between 15 and 20 feet, let's say, of pipe. I can measure it out later on with this string. But what I did is I tied a lead fishing weight onto a really long piece of twine, and we are going to drop this down the pipe. I have been doing this. I haven't been showing it on the camera, but I've been doing this all along because you don't want to pass by the water table. Once you hit it, you just want to drive this pipe down so that the whole head of the Sandpoint is underneath water. In this case, here's a Sandpoint that I used on the first well, and I wrecked it. I'll take this back to my shop and I can recut threads on here and I can still use it. But you can see the Sandpoint that I'm using is roughly about 3 feet deep. So you want to make sure once you do find water that you get at least 3 feet deep down into the water. And so that's what I'm testing with this string and this lead weight. And I'm also testing to see if I hear or feel water on the string. So let's pull this up. I didn't hear anything, but I've already got water right here. And yeah, it's right about there. So I am well into the Sandpoint. So I'm gonna go ahead and put on my pitcher pump and start pumping to our heart's content, and we'll see if we can start getting some water to come out. I don't want to go too deep because this soil is all rocks, and with my luck I'll end up breaking another Sandpoint. Maybe I'm a little shy now that I busted it, but this whole string, I don't know if I can get the water to come out, if you can see that dripping or not, but it is all solid water, and it's ice cold water too. Yeah, up here it's all ice cold water. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in. I know this is at least as long as my Sandpoint is. Yeah, I'm actually about a foot past the end of my Sandpoint. So I'll hook up the pitcher pump and we'll prime it, and let's see if we can get water. And lately it's been a real trend in the trade. All right, so we've got the valve in at the bottom of the screen. I know you guys can barely see it, but there is a ball valve in here. And I went ahead and I taped and doped the threads. So let's go ahead and we'll see if I can get this pitcher pump put on. And we'll try to prime the well here and see if we have water. there we go. And we're getting water. It's crappy water right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'll keep pumping this thing, and we'll keep pumping until we get this water to clear out. It doesn't always happen real fast, but you can see we're getting water. So I'm pretty stoked. Hey guys, guess what? My arms are jello right now and I'm all sweated up, but we got clear water. So this water table is, I think it's pretty good. The water's coming out of the ground ice cold, and I'm gonna have to take it into a testing laboratory and have it tested, make sure that it's pure enough to drink. For right now, we can use it for bathing, which it's a huge milestone at the cabin to be able to have our own water and not be reliant on anyone else. Up here, we really weren't reliant on anyone else, but I did have to make the trip to the artesian well all the time, and that was getting to be a pain in the butt because it's further away from the cabin than what this water source is. So I just feel blessed that we were able to get water, and thanks for all the prayers, all you people that were helping me out. You know, last week it was amazing, all the people that were coaching me along and encouraging me to go ahead and do it. And after, you know, experiencing that failure on the first time, I thought, oh, this is gonna really flop, but we were able to strike water. And for those of you who drive that 25 feet deep and don't hit water, one of the subscribers last week, I got mosquitoes all around me again, so I'll make this quick, made me aware of deep well pumps. So that pitcher well pump that I have only pumps up to 35 feet. I think I'm gonna investigate those deep well pumps, and maybe we'll push that that pipe down that's closer behind the cabin. We'll hit it maybe another 30 feet and see if we hit water. After talking to all my neighbors, most of them around here hit their water at 50 feet to 55 feet. So I'm thinking if I throw a few more extra sticks on there, maybe we can be successful and hit water that way. I don't know a lot about these deep well pumps, but I'm definitely going to investigate it. Thanks for all your helpful tips that you've given me during this series, and I greatly appreciate your support. We'll catch you next week on Carl's Off the Grid. We got water.